And we're back. Hello. We've had our 15 minutes of rest. I guess you had a wonderful week. How guys? So, how was the fight?
Tough.
Yes.
Happy it's over.
Come on, one more round. Put me in, coach. One more round.
I've got no more spell slots left, and I'm down to 15 hit points. Like, that's how the fight was.
Yeah, and you just basically have the mummified remains of an ancient warrior that just appeared in a dust storm right in front of you, holding a creepy-looking goblet. So, who knows? Maybe the fight isn't over just yet.
I think Sorsha's never been that low on spell slots.
Oh, really?
I
am frequently.
And I don't think Vroon has been this low in hit points in a long while.
It's been a while. I am down 97.
Damn.
Right. So let's get back. Let's get back into the game, shall we? So, as I just mentioned, as the flames died down and the smoke sort of hangs in the air for a while, it coalesces and sort of brings itself into form, almost out of ash. The silhouette of a desiccated warrior. You can still see sort of traditional, and when I mean traditional, I mean paintings on the wall. Paintings on these walls, actually, of an old Chultan warrior. There you go. You can see that he is. There are sort of bandages that are sort of he's sort of wrapped in bandages, but also he's wearing jewelry and I guess clothing that would be fitting for a person of a high rank, royal even.
This would be the king that wrote this.
As you were looking towards it, yes, you're pretty sure that this might be Chagagare.
That one.
Lucanu. Lucanu, it's herself is. She's a bit overwhelmed right now. She wants to run to Zal, who has sort of set himself up into the corner there, but the Revenant is between the two, and so she's again.
Revenant. Okay.
Well, it's a general term.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, in this case, it would be a Revenant. I will actually show you the goblet that he is.
Oh wow!
Holding.
Ooh, fancy.
Very fancy. Lucanu's eyes go wide when she sees this.
How do you drink from it without poking an eye?
Well,
I'm guessing they close the eyes.
Carefully.
Yes.
Yeah.
With an air of regality.
I'm gonna crawl down.
Vroon, I think you would recognize this as well, as part of maybe the history courses or whatnot. This particular skull chalice. Well, we explained the history of it, I think, last time or one of the times previously. Which is that it is made of the skull of the old king that had Chikagare sent to hell, basically. And it is the symbol of power. It is the symbol of lineage, of royal lineage of the old kings of Omu. So anyone who would go out and announce themselves as royalty of Omu would need this chalice in their possession. And the king seems to be offering it to you. In general, not to you in particular, Vroon, but just in general to someone.
I will sort of. I think I'll sort of like my trunk goes up to poke Lucano in the ankle and go like, I think you should take it.
But I am not of royal blood.
Neither are we.
Neither are we, and
No, but
you are of the royal guard, so I am assuming that you will get it to whoever rightfully should be getting this.
Of course. She jumps down. And there's a moment where she doesn't quite know, because he's holding the cup out. And she doesn't quite know if she should curtsy, kneel before, or take the cup. And so there's sort of a mixture of both, where she goes down to kneel and sort of... And as soon as she holds the cup, the warrior's hands go across the chest. He nods, and in the smoke just pours out of him into a hole into the ceiling and disappears. At the same moment, you can hear the stone against stone, as the boulder that had come down and blocked the room is now setting itself back into the ceiling.
That was tough.
Yes. And you see Sorsha applying a cure, a protection against poison on herself.
Okay.
Ah,
The feeling does not abate.
Ah.
Wait a minute.
I think we got a problem here, Gale.
I'll get a hand up so that you can actually get down from there,
Oh.
because I need to touch you.
I offer a hand to.
And when you're back on the ground, I'll just put a hand on you, lesser restoration.
Okay.
Cute.
That indeed works. As you can feel that, yeah, it's like you're coming out. Actually, I would think that most likely you would still have where where the blade pierced your armor, or where you would see, you can still see maybe the imprints of, instead of black veins like you see in everywhere, I think you would see the imprint of chains or metallic rope. Sort of starry and sort of leaning to, sort of moving to your limbs.
Okay. So it vanishes.
Yes.
Ah, that seemed to have done the trick. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'm a fan of that slam of yours, by the way.
Lucanu, having taken the cup, sort of looks around, puts it in her bag, but then rushes towards Zal and starts inspecting his wounds. He is very hurt. Burns all across the body. You can still see these very nasty. They would look like wrought iron twisted spikes almost, if it were metal. But it's not. It's bone or kitten or something along those lines. And as soon as you sort of pull them out, there's always sort of a spurt of bar as these things are almost hooked as you pull them out, and then they turn to ash in your hands. Well, in Lucano's hands, anyways.
Sorsha is gonna, because I think like the rope is basically at her feet right now.
It's wrapped around one of the elephant's legs. Yes.
She's just gonna grab it on her way to Zal.
But here's the thing. Is that as you try to pull it, it stays there. These things work with command words, and as long as you don't know the command word for
Release.
to release it, or even for that matter, actually to activate it, that would require an identify spell.
Yeah, that's Heinrich's specialty.
Yeah.
Hey, if you don't have...
However, once everything's tidied up, I'm gonna suggest, do we want to set up camp here? I mean, it's a secluded room, we know what the trap is, we activated it. It's pretty safe.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Okay, Zal gets 24 hit points.
Thank you.
She just gently pats his elbow, and he'll be alright. And then she's gonna move to Rune
Mm-hmm.
and don't have any more force level spell. We'll do the next best thing. You get 19.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, let's have a rest.
Okay. I guess, how do you set up?
I'll put myself in the corner where I am, and I'll start to make a bubble.
Don't you want to wait, because you need to stay inside the bubble once it's up.
True that.
So I think the usual habit would be just open the hole, get our stuff out, put it in a corner to be installed as soon as the bubble comes up, and then food.
I think what I will do, just because I'm a bit paranoia, I'm gonna ritually cast an alarm spell there.
Okay.
I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
not a
draw a
bad
line.
idea.
I'm gonna cast an alarm.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. I like that idea. Nope, I don't have it on this screen. I need to go get it.
And it will be an audible alarm. So it's gonna be an audible alarm of a bell. Ding 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 ding.
I'm going to ask Lucanu if I can just have a look at the chalice,
Okay.
because I'm curious.
Yeah. Make me religion is wisdom? No.
Religion is intelligence.
Is intelligence. But I think at this point I would say yeah, make me a religion check. Are you proficient in religion?
No. However, I didn't roll too bad.
Yeah. Okay. This, I mean, as you're looking towards this, it's a bit the same situation as the crown above, right? As in, it's not a magical item in itself. It's a incredible piece of workmanship. As you're looking, this could be worth 2,500 gold easily, right?
Okay.
Let me just make sure. Yeah. But if this is indeed a symbol of power,
it's priceless.
It's priceless. But you also note that in its own way, it is an item of worship. And you would have enough, I'll give you that on a 16, you would have enough knowledge of, for example, this could be used, this unique item could be used for rituals needing a chalice or drinking vessel. But you're pretty sure that this item is important enough that the spell would not consume it. I can see Yannick's eyes darting forward as he's thoroughly realizing what I just did.
Yeah. Continue.
I mean, there we go. So yes, technically this is a spell component that cannot be destroyed. If you need a chalice or if you need whatever. Yeah.
A drinking vessel, maybe?
Yep. Of at least 1,000 gold pieces.
Yep. Heinrich, I know I'm out of 6th level spell slots, but fortunately we're gonna take a rest.
After seeing Sorsha observing the entanglement ropes tries to pull it, I'll give a sigh, I'll wobble to it, I'll put my books in front of it, and I start to cast Identify on the rope of entanglement. And I'll just say very loudly, if something needs to be identified or recognized weapons, please put it on the pile, and I'll start to put the book open and I'll start to... Hey, so again guys, if you have certain objects or items that you were like, I would like to have it identified, now is the moment to give it to me, please.
Okay. Well, at least the identify. Do you speak Infernal?
No.
So your pronunciation's gonna be a bit off. So the release word for the rope is gift. In the word for gift in Infernal, which is also the same word. It's gift, sacrifice, gift, offering, sacrifice. The activation word is mine. As in ownership. In Infernal.
I'll try to say gift in Infernal.
Make me an intelligence check.
Let's go. 15.
Okay, with the 15. I mean, you've never spoken Infernal. You do not know the language. The words sort of echo into your inside your head. You manage to sort of keep that particular one, but the word that comes out is a no, actually this one it'd be a word almost soft, as in this is a word that is, it's a word of supplication, right? So it's softer in its way. It's still, you can still feel, as you pronounce the word, the back of your throat burn, as if you had just swallowed sort of hot sauce or something. Yeah, it is a dry burn, right? It's not the kind of burn that you get from spices that coat the mouth and no, this is specifically that the one, that burn right there, that burn right there.
Oh man, look.
The rope untangles and just flows to the floor, and you can pick it up.
All right. Okay, Sorsha. Activation word mine and release word gift and Jesus Christ.
Sorsha, do you speak Infernal?
No, but I have a musical ear. So I'm gonna try to put that into more like a mimic rather than an understanding. You know, like copying a tune.
I might ask.
Yeah.
I might actually have the first couple of times you use it. I might actually have you roll for it to kind of see if you can pronounce it correctly.
She's trying to do it now because she's just hearing it right now, so she needs to replicate it right now to tune to it.
Yeah. Okay. I'll. It's not an attunement item, but I'll allow the idea of attunement to it with regards to the word of power. So yeah, you can add a rope of entanglement into your inventory.
Thank you.
Why does she always get these kinds of items, guys?
I don't know. Never mind.
Could you also have a look at spines in Sal's body and try to?
No, these
the
spines. The spines, as soon as they're pulled out, they disappear entirely.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay. Then I crossed the information about. We jumped from the spines to the rope, and I missed the part where it wasn't connected.
No, the only thing to have actually been left behind by the devils is the rope.
Okay.
Oh, well. So, I still have one sending that I can send for today. Does someone needs to contact someone? And I just look at everyone politely. Bless you, Sorsha.
Thanks.
Do we need to spread some information? Do we need to know something? Do we need to update someone? Or else I'm just gonna call my mom.
Or mom.
Call your mom.
I'll get sending. Hi, Mom. We're gonna bunker down for today. We survived. Sorry for calling the dog. Was in a pinch. Miss you both. Can't wait to see you again.
Never apologize for using the gifts that we have given to you and what is owed to you. I am happy that you are safe. Please come back to us.
Can I do an insight check on that to see what the current mood is of my mom also?
You've known her enough. That came as there was relief. There was, I think I think the first part was more. Don't you invoke the dog? Don't. He's a magic. I mean, it's literally going. What are you talking about? He's a spell. There's no. It's not because you took him that we don't have it. Don't worry about it. By the way, was the dog white? Okay. There's a theme going on here.
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah, I think the idea that do not apologize for using the gifts that were bestowed to you. It's really, child, don't, it's not a problem. And of course at the end it's relief, but you feel that she's exhausted. You're not exactly sure what time of day or night it is. Waterdeep, much less here.
Mm-hmm.
Or here, much less Waterdeep. But yes, she's awake because the answer came in immediately.
Yeah.
But she seems exhausted. Those last couple of words were. She wants this. She wants you back. She wants this to be done. She wants this whole situation to be done.
Okay. I'll give a big relieved sigh. I'll take my last potion of Watchful Rest, cork it open, drink it up, and I start to scribe my spells in.
Okay. So you've got 8 hours worth. You've got it. You've got the gold. You've got the ink. It's not a problem. How about the others? What are you up to?
I'm probably still looking at the chalice during that time.
Mm-hmm. Lucanu is sort of sitting next to you, eyeing sort of her gaze going up from the chalice to you, then back to the chalice. A bit like somebody whose prized possession is being handled by somebody who actually knows about it and is very scared about realizing that it's a fake, but even more scared at the realization that it might be real. And the responsibility that would come with it. Any reaction? Gale?
So, it's feeling cold, right? Or did I miss? Sorry, I think I blanked out for a couple seconds.
It's made of gold, right? It is. There's no particularly abnormal temperature to it.
Okay.
It's. I mean, it is a gold-covered skull with the head cut off. With the top of the head cut off. It's macabre, but it's gorgeous work. It's very simple as well, right? The idea that a lot of stately ornaments or no, as in scepters or crowns often have either designs into them or whatever. This is primitive, right? This is This is Roman to your usual seeing Gothic, right? This was made back in the day where he ascended, and it was never remade into something or never improved on previously. Yeah, you're most likely holding an artifact that is, about 1,000 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Almost as old as the city that used to be outside.
Yeah. I'll magically test it, just seeing what the energy resonance would be if there's any reaction to magical energy with it.
So, like I said, it's a like I mentioned previously when I described to you the whole thing. I guess this is where you would find that whole the properties.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. I will have to think and plan. Yeah. Vroon, don't bother planning for breakfast tomorrow. I'll handle that one.
Great.
Vroon, what are you up to?
I think Vroon is just going to sit next to Sal and sort of go like, yeah. Ouch, I know.
There's a moment where Zal sort of looks to his the very ceremonial, in a sense, this heavy stone-headed axe, and basically looks to you and says, "I'm not used to this kind of enemy. Usually size is enough to protect." We'll have to find a new one.
There are bigger things out there.
We rest and we follow. Go forward, go down.
Go down.
What is there? More like this?
Probably. So I suggest you take a good night of rest.
Yes. I will stay here. Not much space in the wizard's bubble. Besides, you snore too loud.
So do you.
Yes, but when I sleep, I cannot hear myself.
At least I can move my nose away.
You do not make the moving. No. This was agonizing. But a good story to tell.
Agreed.
Once the wounds heal, they will make good story points. I will have to find one of mine to mark the scars.
I do it slightly differently. I trace the path of my maze.
You are a follower of the maze. The maze is us. You walk the maze in faith. We walk the maze because we walk.
Of course. As everyone does. Everyone walks the maze. Whether they want to or not.
He calls up Lucan. He sort of calls up to Lucan. Lucan. Cannot reach. Scratch it. Lucan, who sort of steps up from her seat, from her sort of crouch next to Gale, moves to Lucan, who's like, "You big beast. What would you do without me, huh?" And sort of basically goes scratching at it, and you can see the bovine head sort of lean back against the wall, and there's a sigh of relief.
Oh yeah. We'll get ready for a long rest.
Sorsha?
Yep.
Sorsha is preparing. She's preparing everyone for rest, so she's playing her Song of Long Rest. And in the same times, yeah, she takes time to collect herself. And after she's done, she's gonna sit in the middle of everyone. Yeah. I think we need to talk, don't we? You're muted, Heinrich.
Heinrich looks up.
No? Nobody wants to talk?
Yannick,
Go on.
considering that we only see your face, nose above, we have no idea if you're actually talking and we're not hearing you or not.
I am there, no worries.
Okay.
What did you mean with if I saw Biff again that I need to be careful? What the hell happened? And looks around a bit.
Well, Beef was a doppelganger.
And now is the reason you're gonna explain why you didn't share this information with your fellow comrades, fellow adventurers that have been.
Because I thought that was the best course of action. Considering he already read all of your minds. You know, remember that ring I asked you long ago to make to protect your minds from being read? It was to prevent something like that.
Do you understand in how many percentage that we're gonna have?
Do we understand how many percentage how many chances we get to come across changelings and doppelgangers? Yes, I do. So, considering he was already there, seemed to not have any nefarious motivations. And that I would rather have a changeling under my nose than in the dark, or putting you in the situation of killing the guy. I took it upon myself to keep the status quo. I didn't want any dissension in the group, and I didn't want him to stab us in the back. Oh, also, he did kill, like, that dark elf. He didn't go away. He was murdered by Biff.
So you knew all that, and you decided that the best way of action was to keep us in the dark about a known murderer, shapeshifter, in our group, rather than warning everyone?
Yes.
Get out. Take a hike! Take a hike.
I have nothing to be ashamed of. I was protecting you.
No. No. You weren't protecting us. You were actively, knowingly putting us in danger.
No. No, definitely not.
What would have happened if for any reason you had fallen unconscious for even a slight amount of time?
Yeah.
If we had lost anyone in the group?
Every decision came with a risk. I understand it.
And you kept a secret from the group?
I kept him from using you, yes.
No. You kept his secret over keeping the trust of this group.
No. Why are you saying that?
Because he is a threat.
Not to us. He was
No.
more of a threat
So
in the darkness.
So
Trust
he's
me.
right now. He went away, and he's middle in the dungeon. God knows where. What? Even looking right now, and he can strike us anytime because I think he didn't went away on good terms. If you warned me like that.
Well, now he has what he wanted, so...
God, and I gave him that. And I gave him that to him, and I wanted to do something good.
I think you did best, because if you didn't, I would have had to attack him to not have him attack us to get that.
We accepted your
Word.
and we accepted of who you are. And to speak for myself, I've always been an open book towards everyone. Always. And if there is your logic to it, I get it, but do you understand that we feel a bit hurt also?
Yes, I do. That's why I'm coming clear to you. Like, I did that to protect you, not to hurt you.
It's way too late. You should have come clear as soon as you discovered him.
I'm not sure you understand what doppelgangers can do.
So enlighten me, what can they do?
They could have wrecked us, if not threaded carefully.
And so in your mind, keeping a threat like that in the group with us unaware of it was better than risking an all-out confrontation immediately?
Yes.
I don't know if you're a fool or a traitor.
Wow. That's strong words now.
I am starting to look at Vroon. What his reaction is, what his body language is for the moment.
You're
Wait,
muted.
I thought that this was like I initially thought that this was a conversation privately between Sorsha and
No,
Heinrich,
it
so I
was.
not-
this is
everyone.
this is public square.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes.
she said she was going in the middle and saying we need to talk about something. So yeah, that's why I came in.
Sorsha, do you think we're idiots?
No,
Then why do you treat us like idiots?
I don't treat you like idiots. I treat you like unprotected minds against a
We could have
doppelganger.
been protected if you had told us something.
So
Unprotected is unknowing. You made us unprotected by not telling us anything.
and let me just ask you a question then. Would you have rather me put you in the position of executing a potential innocent?
Why? We've dealt with your people before.
He was no threat to us.
No,
But
and
because
neither
of
were
his
the
nature,
others of your people. What is the difference between this one and the ones we met in Waterdeep?
this one is is a doppelganger. My kind are changelings. Doppelgangers are selfish and impulsive and do only what they feel like.
Isn't that what you
Changelings
did
would.
now?
Sorry?
Isn't that what you did now? Doing what you feel like?
I'm trying to do good. Changelings are trying to do good.
Well, I feel that you have betrayed our trust.
That was. That was protection, but if you deem it otherwise, I have no way of changing your minds.
You're saying you were protecting someone who was possibly innocent. But
Yes.
you tell us he killed that dark elf and got away with it with your blessing. Telling
That
us the guy just left when I know you have a prejudice against dark elves, and I don't really care about that. But that elf didn't prove to us that he was evil, bad, or that he was going to turn around
he
against
was.
us.
He was.
And we would have dealt with him. And we would have dealt with that fucking doppelganger as well. Now we have a threat left loose in the dungeon that's gonna turn on us at the worst possible time.
That's a possibility. But that's also a possibility that it's just a guy.
Well,
I
my trust in you has been harmed by this. It does not mean I do not trust you, but I trust you less.
There. Does someone has anything more to say?
I mean, it's too late. We can't do anything about it tonight or right now, so no.
Yes, we can. And I'm putting out the lantern and I'm lighting up the flame.
It glows blue. Because you are there.
No, it doesn't detect me. Yeah, it goes green if there's someone.
No, as in it's supposed to detect changelings or shapeshifters.
Yep.
If it does not detect your kind, it will not detect him.
Yeah, it does detect any changeling but me.
Yeah, that was a specification we had
Yes.
because the point was to detect any changelings coming in Trollskull Manor, and since Sorsha was there on a regular basis.
Were-rats specifically.
Yeah,
as in
were-rats,
not,
yeah.
And not changelings because you had changelings on your staff.
Mm-hmm.
So it would not detect. It would detect specifically were creatures, shapeshifters that were not changelings, or doppelgangers.
No, the first one, there were replicas in the tavern, but the first one is all shapeshifters.
Okay.
And I will tell you the reason why it doesn't detect me, and it was validated by you. It's because of the ring that makes me human for any magical detection.
Is that ring? The ring of mind shielding does
Yes.
that? Okay.
Yes.
Fine. I apologize. I had forgotten that particular trick. Next time,
Okay.
open with that. Yeah, sure. So yeah, the lantern burns normal. There's a the yellow and sort of yellow orange of a flame burns through these because the flame isn't the one that changes color. Specifically, it's the panes of glass on the outside that are sort of rune marked, and those shift the color if there is something in the area. So, yeah, normal lantern.
And she puts it on the floor.
Heinrich just returns to work, but you see that his hands are trembling. Of being angry, but doesn't say anything. And returns to describing in his book.
I'm guessing that the rest of the evening, unless there's any other further conversation. The rest, let's put it that way, goes without issues. The awkward silence that is sort of set between the four of you, definitely contagious, as your two remaining guests understand that something's going on, but do not have their space in the conversation. Not necessarily understanding either. They understand what happened, and they understand who Biff is/was, and have their own alarm and their own reasons. But there might be some conversation as to the two of them, between the two of them, with regards to that, as you had basically left them alone with the shapeshifter, without telling them either. I think Lucanu's the one a bit up in arms, following Gale's example, going, could have known, and Zal saying, he couldn't have done anything. We would have, if he had tried anything, we would have put him down. Trying to calm Lucanu on that point. Then the conversation among them sort of shifts towards the goblet, and to what they're going to do with it. Where would they find the heirs to Omu? Is it maybe is this something that it would be needed to bring the queen back from the dead? That takes up most of the conversation. For the rest, as Zal sort of expertly navigates Lucanu's rage from one subject to another. Let's put it that way. But without your usual banter, the hours go by slowly. The weight, I guess, pushing down on you even more. This room where you had covered in frescoes of devils fighting, echoing the marathon fight that you had gone through, which only lasted about 30 seconds? Not even that. Okay, let's say I bet just under a minute. Yeah. You're in the final stretch. You know this. One more level. But exhaustion is creeping up. And I think all four of you feel that you are in a state where any more pressure on the group might crack it. Maybe and maybe a crack that could not be repaired so easily. As you, one by one, fall asleep, or because Heinrich is there to basically keep watch, in a sense. Well, I was about to say you dream, but you don't. And as you awaken, how's the mood? Is it still tense? Has night come and taken those issues away? Or are there still sort of glances between each other of mistrust?
I think for Heinrich, when everyone wakes up, you see that he is more focused. With the last words of his mother resonating in his head, like, please come back. And he has like a cold look towards his book. And he's preparing his spells, and he's like, okay, I need to get home. At whatever cost. That is his look for the moment and his body language, like, I need to get home, I need to finish this.
Okay. Anyone else?
Gale's gonna get up early and spend quite some time in meditation and prayer in the morning.
Okay. Heinrich, have you what spells have you inscribed this night?
Mirror image, for starters.
Yeah, okay, that's good.
Wait, I need to look at my spell book. Jesus, I got a lot. Thunderstaff.
So that's a new spell, right? That you just.
That's a new spell. Because, well, Thunderstaff would be a fun gig. And the last level of inscription that I still have, I leave alone. I have mirror image and I have Thunderstep, and I just leave that alone.
So you're only but those are 2 first level spells.
Thunderstep is level 3.
Okay.
I still had 2 levels of inscription. With 8 hours of rest, I have 4 levels of inscription that I can add to it.
Okay.
So I have 6 levels of inscription that I can put a spell in my book.
Right. I would recommend that you put those in because you're not going to have a lot of long rests left before we get to the big fight, right? So if you have a big spell, it can be partly written in, not a problem. But I want can't keep them. It's not that I want you to not keep them in reserve. It's not going to be very useful if you keep them in reserve. As opposed to actually building your arsenal. Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. Vroon, in the back of your mind, Kubazan is still ranting and raving and reliving the events of the previous fight. You're almost completely distracted by the memories sort of surging backwards and forwards and that him sort of fueling this almost at some point you're starting to realize that wasn't me, I didn't do that, or that's not exactly how it happened, as you realize that Kubazan is building himself up and starting to almost affect your memory of the fight itself. Right? As in, there were moments where you're going, no, wait. That particular exchange with the Aranese was Sorsha. Why am I there? And why, so Kubazan is sort of shifting things around to make the fight more glorious for you. And for him, in a way. Sorsha, Ijin is... Okay, come on, let's move. What's this? Very attracted to the shiny things as well. As you find yourself in the firelight or in the candlelight the lantern light. I'll get there. As you're looking towards the jeweled encrusted tusks, but not necessarily at the tusks themselves, but more at the reflection that the gems throw onto the floor, into the walls. As you find yourself at some point sort of waving the lantern, just looking at the ceiling to seeing the pretty lights move about.
No, she doesn't touch the lantern.
You find yourself moving the lantern in the light and catching yourself and putting it down.
You stay still. You stay still. I need you to focus.
Okay, yeah. I'll focus. Yeah, focusing. Focusing now. Focus. What's that? Gale, at the back of your mind, there's a rumbling. You've heard cats purr. This purr is deep. This purr is angry. It is something along the lines of pushing you to hunt. There's a moment where you know your objectives, but you find yourself with the wish to re-explore, in a sense. There's a quarry still out there.
Yeah.
Heinrich, Obalaka, in your mind, is you find yourself almost going through. It's been a bit difficult to inscribe the spells because it's been difficult for you to choose which ones to inscribe. Where you will find yourself your hand sort of moving backwards and forwards in your captured spell books, looking for the exact spell needed for any given situation that the paranoid Ubolaka will come up with. And it's literally, oh yes, but if this happens, then we need this one. And if this one happens, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then this. And at some point, you literally had to sort of shut your mind off or try to take control. But I'm not going to have you lose hours, right? But it has been difficult. Because the excess of preparation goes on and on and on. By the way, Heinrich and Sorsha, you both have lost your death guards. So I shall remove them for now. Or no, I'll leave them on. I'm pretty sure that we're gonna get both of you are gonna get one from Gale anyways. Is that correct?
Gale is currently still praying, and at some point in we're still definitely starting to wake up, so it's still the long rest, it's still time for at some point she's retrieved the chalice from Lucanu. Say, if I may borrow it for just a moment.
It is better in your hands than in mine. But it is my responsibility to keep it safe, as I would have for my monarch. So as long as you hold it, I will be your bodyguard, and I believe that Zal agrees with that as well. We will not be keeping you out of our sight.
Yeah, the ritual is probably going to be... Gil will actually use a decanter of endless water to fill the goblet with salt water.
Okay.
And utter a prayer to Valkyr above it. Something to give us strength in the storm that we're weathering. Something to keep us alert and aware of our surroundings. Something to keep us... Something to keep us strong in the face of the obstacles that we're going to cross. And as she gets at the end of her prayer, suddenly spilling out of the goblet in front of her, there will appear a feast. A lot of seafood.
Of course.
But breakfast is served.
Lucanu's eyes go wide, and Zal, as he leaning on his axe, you can see sort of slobbering. And so all of you can add 9 hit points to your maximum.
Ooh.
It is only lasts for 48 hours. So you know how to do that?
And edit them to 10.
Sorry?
No, those are not
No,
temporary
they're not.
hit points.
These are not temporary hit points.
Those
Oh.
are modified.
Yeah, so because it's the first time we've actually done this, if you go to your hit points, HP modifier, and just add 9.
Okay.
There you go. And you should. And by the way, everybody is up at full, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But it does mean that I need to change these guys. So 143.
So we're not affected right now, but we would be cured from all diseases and poison, become immune to poison and being frightened for the next 24 hours, make all wisdom saving throws with advantage, and the hit point maximum increases by 2d10. So all of that lasts for 24 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Jesus.
the hero's breakfast before boss fight, basically.
But the thing is, normally it should consume a gem encrusted bowl worth about 1,000 gold pieces. But in this case, the spell focus was is still in your
chalice.
possession. The the chalice is still in your possession.
Jesus.
Well, I was already immune to fear, but thank you for this.
Yes, well, this is all about you, Vroon. Sorry. That is not true. Everything is all about you. You are Paladin of Glory with a very bombastic god in the back of your head. So, yeah. This is all about you. You are the protagonist of your own story and the story of mostly anybody else you meet. Am I wrong? Put down your mic. We can barely hear you.
Yes.
Thank you. Right. So, where to?
Down, I think.
You still have that awakened Napaka room if you wanted
Again,
to.
if
you wanted to-
if everyone else in the party wants to do that, they can
But
go
not
without
you.
me.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys are going down.
Yeah. Heinrich just. Yeah.
I would just be interested in if Gale would put back the wording on Sorsha or not.
Gale, Death Ward.
So at the end of the hour, when we're all packed, everything ready to go, that's when Gale would use a moment where she has first Heinrich, then, and any way it comes, she'll use a moment where she's gonna just put a hand on the shoulder and cast Death Ward twice. So once on Sorsha, once on Heinrich.
When you do that on Sorsha, she looks at you and she says, I still don't understand fully, but I understand that I hurt you, and I'm sorry for that.
She's gonna have a slow nod and say, it's gonna take time, but everyone makes mistakes.
In the back of your mind, I'll just go back of your mind, Gale, you hear, I do not. Sorsha.
That's gonna be mental. Oh, shut up, you.
There. Sorsha, you're saying.
Just so you know, your logic is not always my logic. I was not born and raised like a human. So that's why things makes a lot of sense for me and sometimes less sense for you. It still hurts. And I'm still confused about that.
We can have a calm discussion about it later if you want. Right now, let's say it would be better if we find someone that I can decently get my nerves on.
I think there's a few candidates in a place like that.
Yes. So let's go. And once we've seen this through, we can talk about it.
Anytime.
Sorsha, you might still want to click your long rest.
Click your long rest, yeah.
Oh, I
You're
forgot
not at
about
full hit
that.
points, and it might be important.
True. Thank you.
Right. So.
Do we have to walk to the stairs, or?
No, I will move you down there. However, before we get to that specifically, all of you pack your bags. You can hear the struggles of Zal as he's trying to navigate the smaller corridors. But the camera sort of lets you disappear into the corner, and there's sort of a fade to black as it moves about. Gale, you wake. Well, it's less that you wake, is that you have a moment of clarity, a moment in this nightmare that you've been living for the past couple of days. The chains around your wrists, around your feet, the chafing is hurting more and more. You can feel something oozing between the metal and your skin. The cage in which you've been set here for how much time you have lost count. You try to find a comfortable position, but the way your body has been maimed and deformed and tortured, every inch, every movement is agony. You haven't slept in so long. You try in this moment where this smoke is... Maybe it's a moment where you manage to push a little bit of this green smoke that has been permeating your being ever since you've been down here. Maybe that's what woke you up, or maybe that's what's keeping you awake, keeping you conscious, unable to drift away in sleep or even in death. Because the first couple of hours, maybe even days, you had the hope that you would be found. Surely your 3 companions that have been walking with you for these past months, surely they must see that you've gone and must be pushing to find you. But it's been days. Or has it been weeks? And then there were the visits. The 3 sisters that have been coming about, poking you, prodding you, pushing the limits of your physical exterior, and then like a needle driving into the back of your skull, pulling out memories, images. Tell me, Gale, what was the first nightmare that you ever witnessed?
I'm a little girl running along the flat roofs of little Kalimshan. I'm running towards my brother, who's down there. He's gone to defend us. He's gone on the palisades, 'cause they announced the raid again. And as I get to the place of the fighting, there's smoke in the streets, a lot of people. I can find him at first, and then I hear his voice screaming, and I see him surrounded by a squadron of the Flaming Fist. And he's gone to the ground, trying to crawl to safety, and they're just toying with him, prodding him, trying to catch him so that they could take him. And I'm desperately searching for something to help him. At that moment, I catch a loose brick on the roof where I am. And as my small hands grab the brick, I'll throw it at the head of the first Flaming Fist with a scream, "Leave him alone!" And while I distract them just enough for my brother to look at me, In my nightmare, they end up spearing him.
In your nightmare, as your brother turns, you can see that there are, over his eyes, 2 golden coins. As they look towards you, you can see as he smiles with a smile that almost breaks to his ears, there is a flow of ants that sort of move out of his mouth and move along the sides. You are aware all of a sudden of this prickling feeling all around your body, as if this horde of ants is not only covering the square, the soldiers, but yourself. The first of the sisters snickers as her voice sort of echoes, as you come out to reality, echoes through all of these ants who seem to sort of, it's less not a voice but a vibration as they move and they shift. It says, yes, that is what we want. Give us more. Oh, sisters, we found a good one here. Your turn. You hear a thump as the second, heavier silhouette comes forth. There's it's the sound of wood on stone. Yes, girlie. Let's see. One more, shall we? Gale, describe to me what happened. How did you lose the first person who was entrusted to you on the ship?
At 17, having just completed my first training as unit leader on the ship, before I actually met the Cleric of Akor, who would educate me and lead me on my way, I at first headed a small fighting unit. And in those, so 3 people, 4 with me, and we were supposed to scout ahead and open the gates for the ship to pass into a secluded harbor to be able to for an invasion. A pirates fort, and we needed to take it down. As at first it did go well, but as we went deeper into the fort, finding the mechanism to open the harbor, we missed a spotter. And while the alarm was given just as the doors of the harbor opened, the youngest on our team, who was a lookout, didn't make it because the reply was faster than anticipated. And as we fought for our lives, we couldn't get to him, and I couldn't get him out safely to our medics or to our medical help. We had to leave him, jump back on the ship.
As the ship leaves, there's a moment where the ship leaves, moving into a bank of fog. This is not part of the memory, you know this. This is because no fog ever seen on sea is this thick, this yellow, with these green accents. It looks like pus made into fog. Some might call it traditional Los Angeles weather, but that's not. Yes, good. And how about you? You want to take a little taste? Take the edge off? The last sister. The one who's been the most cruel to you. The one the most precise in her cutting of your mind. You've never seen her face, hidden behind a sack of leather. Only a hole through which occasionally a serpent, a snake, comes out, or a cockerel. Or sometimes the nose of some sort of canine, sort of shuffling underneath. Now, sisters, I am filled for now, but we have much to do. And let us leave this little one for now. Others will be coming, and we must be sure that our ward is well and healthy. No snacking on the job, sisters. You know this. He would be mighty mispleased. Of course, sister. Very well. The three shapes disappear into the fog, leaving you again alone with your thoughts, your pain, your aches. They, through memory and questions, you know that you have betrayed your companions. That hope that they would find you is now turned to a form of shame. You do not wish to be found, for the sisters know your secrets. You were trained to withstand torture, and the first lesson of torture is that everyone breaks. Everyone breaks. It may have taken longer for you than for others. Sure. But as time is messed up, as you have lost the ability to determine the passage of time through dream or reality, you have no idea when you broke, but you did. So when the steps of armored boots, familiar for having followed them for months, echo to the stairs to the north. And then a familiar glow. Lantern light, flaming sword, you're not exactly sure. Your eyes are too swollen with the smoke, but you recognize them. They've come. They've found you. And you will have to face them. Here, in your misshapen body, in this cage of iron, you will have to face the betrayal. And that's where we're going to end for tonight.
Okay, a depression episode.
Well, maybe. But then again, this is not a happy story. You good?
Yeah.
Okay. For the rest of you, I will give you just one preview of the things to come.
Okay.
I will move you to the last map.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I said we were going to end there, but let's give a little bit of something for the other three to think about. Emmy knows exactly what's going on. As you move down through the fairly narrow stairwell now, you come to a room. Vroon, there is a smell here, which you have it is acrid, smoke, acidic. Green smoke billows from a bronze cauldron in the middle of a 20-foot high vaulted hall. Barely visible through the haze are 3 rocking chairs, several workbenches heaped with haberdashery, a spinning wheel, and a rusty iron cage containing someone. As you look about, galleries stand 10 feet above the floor to either side of the room. And to the end, you can barely see through the smoke, but towering is a grand door. And I will actually I should have a handout for this one, at least. Please tell me. Here we go. A grand door marked in skeletal figures in which 3 locked slots about this big with in different shape indent in each. The final door. You have the keys. But from what you can tell, the keyholes are shut. Let's see what you can do. And yes, that prisoner back there is something that we'll look into next time. Right. This is where I really am going to stop for tonight. And right. So, I have not had enough room to put in Zal and Lupaka, but they are right behind you. Zal closing the march. And we will see this next time. So, once again, thank you to my players for this session. By the way, a special thank you to M. As we discussed this, we sort of synchronized this whole thing. But all of her answers were improvised. She had no idea what the answers were, what the questions were. Neither did I, basically. But we decided that it was good to sort of explore a bit of her backstory. So, hang on, folks. Next time, the Trials of the Hags. See you then.
Again, 3 of them. Again.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Hags for everyone. Okay. Well, see you next time. Bye bye.